Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Continuing on the chapter about dhikr, remembering Allah. وعن معاذ رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أخذ بيده. So Mu'adh, and Mu'adh means Mu'adh ibn Jabal, was one of the younger companions who lived in Medina. He said that the Messenger of Allah grabbed him one day by the hand. وقال يا معاذ. So he held his hand and he told him, O Mu'adh, والله إني لأحبك. He said, I swear by Allah that I love you. أوصيك يا معاذ. I advise you, Mu'adh, لا تدعن في دبر كل صلاة تقول. You should never omit or neglect to say after the end of every prayer, اللهم أعني على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. You should never forget to say, O Allah, I ask you for help in remembering you and in being thankful to you and in being excellent in your worship. Rahu Abu Dawud bi isnadin Sahih. This is narrated by Imam Abu Dawud and it's an authentic chain of narration. So we learn two main things here. One of them is conveying your love for somebody else directly. The way the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he grabbed Mu'adh by the hand and he told him, Mu'adh, I'm going to give you some advice because I love you. That type of connection, that type of care and concern the Messenger of Allah had is very important, because sometimes we can give advice to somebody else. We can be like, you know what, it's the right advice. This is what this person needs to hear. There's many ways to give advice. One way, you can grab him by the shirt. I want to give you some advice. Other way, just totally neutral. Just go like this. I want to give you some advice. Then there's the way that Mu'adh ibn Jabal did. He grabbed him by the hand and said, I love you, and this is why I'm giving you this advice, establishing what's called rapport, establishing that I care about you. And that's why I want to give you this. So a very important message about how to deal with people. And then he gives them the advice on how to remember Allah, that you should ask Allah for help in remembering Him and being thankful to Him and worshipping Him. This is very interesting, because the best thing you can do, one of the best things you can do is remembrance of Allah is one of the greatest things. Remembering Allah by saying Subhanallah or thinking about Allah or something like that. It's ibadah, worship of Allah is the highest thing that anybody can do. And here what we're Him. By asking Allah to help you in remembering Him, you're actually remembering Him. But it's very interesting. I find this to be very interesting, because there's this Western philosophical debate between the two big schools of thought in Western philosophy, between Aristotle and Plato. In Arabic, right? Plato says you do the right, you do what's good because of the benefits it gives you and how it makes you feel. It's a very modern perception too. I help the poor because I feel good when I help the poor. But that's not why you should help the poor, but that's the underlying intrinsic, the motivation for it. Aristotle says you help the poor and you seek the truth. You do what's good and you seek the truth because it's intrinsically good just by its very nature. Things, and one is the way it makes you feel. It's fitrah, and then here in Islam we're adding a completely different dimension of ubudiyah. Is that basically this idea of, oh Allah, you are in absolute control. Even if I want to remember you, I don't even have the ability to remember you if you don't give me the ability to remember you. That is what Islam teaches, and it brings the human being to a completely different way than which any other worldviews would make people see. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the people who remember Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the people who have excellence in our ibadah and in our worship. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.